In today's video, we're going to do some e-learning. I feel like a lot of the time I talk about e-learning, but I don't actually ever get the chance to show good examples of e-learning off, and that can be a bit of an issue because we're talking about hypothetical situations and hypothetical examples without actually seeing something right in front of our eyes. So I thought it'd be cool today in today's video just to go through an example of an e-learning interaction I came across recently online. I don't think the company that built it really probably think of it as e-learning, but I would class it probably as an e-learning interaction. It's something online that I'm learning from. And actually, having said that, that's probably quite a good metric to base your e-learning design off, is that if you can create something that doesn't feel like e-learning, I think you've made some great progress there, because if it feels like an e-learning course, then people generally, okay, they know what to expect. But if you can do that without them feeling like, okay, I'm going through an online training session, that can be a great thing to do. So let's jump online and take a look. So this website is called Test Your Tired Self, and it's a New South Wales initiative, which is where I live in Australia, to help reduce driver fatigue, so people getting tired at the wheel and driving their cars. So let's just go through it and you can see what you think. I thought initially the opening image that we can see here is really powerful. It's full screen, so it's really making the most of the browser window, so I can see everything. It's really big and it's really vivid, and it really kind of jumps out at me, the first thing I see. And if any of you saw my last video, you'll know that I'm a kind of big fan of putting something on screen right at the beginning that really kind of has a big impact. So it just asks me to accept the terms and conditions, and then I can click on the little button to get started. So straight away we have something that's asking me to do something, which is great because I think it gets me involved. I'm just going to get rid of my little dash lane thing. That's my password manager. Let's type my name in here, click on continue. So my age as well. Click on continue. Okay, so you can see what it's doing. It's starting to use my name in the text for the e-learning straight away. So for those of you who use tools like Articulate Storyline, you'll be familiar with how that works. Click on mail. So first job, memorize a number. So it's getting me thinking straight away, which I really like. Did you know fatigue crashes are twice as likely to be fatal than any others? You can't brake if you're asleep. So it's a nice big visual, lots of white space. And when I say white, it's green. But I love that about e-learning, that doesn't bombard you with too much information. There's a single message on this slide and it's just trying to help me learn one thing. It's not overcomplicating it. It's trying to say that fatigue crashes are twice as likely to be fatal. It's got a big image that represents that. And that's it. That's the only thing I'm seeing on this slide. And I think sometimes as learning designers, we can try and fit too much on the slide. There's no limit on the amount of slides that you can use in a course. So, don't put too much on a single slide. What time did you wake up today? 6 a.m. So I think it was about 7 today. So I've got, again, it's slightly different interactivity here. It's rather than typing a number, I've got a slider. I often talk about how interactivities can be used, just because they're there. But actually, I think in this example, that works quite well. Watch closely and repeat this sequence. Test will start in 3, 2, 1. So a little activity here that's going to test my memory. Let's see if we can remember the order that this, I think it was there. I'm trying to do this while I'm talking to you. So that's my excuse if I get this wrong. Okay. And I didn't get any feedback then, so that was interesting. It didn't tell me whether I was right or wrong. Did you know being awake for 17 hours has a similar effect on performance as a blood alcohol content of 0.05? And again, a nice visual there that shows me that just with an additional 7 hours of being awake, it doubles the effect of being tired to the same extent as drinking alcohol. So again, it's something quite vivid and visual, and it's just a single message. Lots of white space on this slide, single message, and I think the graphics are great. I think they're really visually attractive. They're not just relying on kind of stock images. They've custom designed these graphics, I would assume, which I think is lovely. How tired do you currently feel? So again, it's making me, it's talking about me, which is making this whole experience feel very personal, which I think is great, because it's kind of, it's intriguing to me to go through this and think, oh, well, if I reveal this information about myself, it's going to give me something at the end of it, which is very personal. That's what I'm kind of expecting from this. So yeah, I had a pretty bad night's sleep last night, so let's go very tired there. Hit the white diamond as fast as you can every time it appears. Let's give this a go. Okay, so that's the exercise finished. Did you know in 2015 more people died in fatigue-related crashes than drink driving crashes? So that's an interesting statistic that might be quite surprising to many people, me included. How many hours sleep did you get in the last 48 hours? Last night was about, let's say, 7. Night before, I think I slept a bit better the night before. Hit the circle as fast as possible when it changes from yellow to blue. Let's give this a go. And we've got a nice progress bar on the right-hand side, you might have noticed, which shows me that I'm probably 2/3 of the way through this so far. As a fatigued driver, you're 6 times more likely to die in a crash than any other driver. Okay. I'm not having to move my arrow very far as well, which is quite nice. I don't know if you've noticed that. My arrow is in this central location in the screen, and the next button is just kind of below where the main activity is. So that's kind of nice from a user experience perspective. What have you mostly done over the last 4 to 6 hours? Desk work, unfortunately. Which best describes you? New parents, probably closest to those listed. How many hours until your next drive? Well, I'm off to the office in a few hours, so let's put 3 hours there. Is my drive longer than 1 hour? No. I really like the colours as well. I think they've used very neutral colours. This is just a purely blank green screen, but the colours, they sit together really, really well. Enter the number. I think it was 4. You're slow off the mark, Ant. Right. I'll have to go back and check whether I remember the right number or not. Even though you're relatively well rested, remember sitting at your desk all day can make you drowsy. So it's got a bit more information there. And interestingly, this is the first time within that course where the screen is longer than the length of my actual screen. So the first time I can scroll down, and I've got the ability here to retest myself, set myself reminders, and share this with other friends. So I'd be interested to hear what you thought of that. As I said, it's probably not something that we would think of necessarily as a kind of traditional e-learning module or course, but it uses a lot of the techniques that we can apply in e-learning courses to increase engagement, to get people involved. And as I said, as I was going through this, I really like the visual side of this. It's very minimalist, just simple messages with quite a lot of visuals, 1 message per slide. It was only sort of 10 slides in there, so it wasn't overwhelming. And I think we got through that in 4 or 5 minutes, which is a nice amount of time to be staring at the screen. So I hope you found that useful. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and remember to subscribe. And don't forget to head over to my website if you want to sign up to my email list to be kept informed of all the other stuff I've got going on away from YouTube. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.